Hello, my name is Greg Tulo. I am the Chief Customer Officer here at Viedoc, and today I'll be showing you a little bit about the Viedoc API. The Viedoc API is initially accessed through the admin area of the system. There's a special role called API Manager that you'll need to grant yourself or whoever's managing your API. Once that's done, that user will see this API configuration area. And if I click on the edit icon, we'll see that there's two different versions of the API. The Web API client and the WCF API, which is a little older and primarily used for data import. But we'll focus just very briefly today on the Web API. If I add a new client, I can give it a descriptive name. I can select whether or not I want to be in demo or production mode and access different kinds of data depending on how I'm entering some test data in the system. We can turn the API client on or off. Say if we're done testing, we want to shut it off temporarily for additional security, we can do that. There are a multitude of scopes which are described in our user guides, and I'll walk through those very briefly. But primarily people will use this to export data, create or update sites, invite clinic users, and invite those admin level users, say your study managers, site manager, those kinds of things. We're always adding functionality to the API, so keep your eyes on this as it continues to grow in its functionality. To learn how to use the API, we have excellent admin guides which will walk you through the configuration of the system. These are pretty detailed and contain lots of different links to related articles that you might want to review if you're giving this a go on your own. The Viedoc Web API Help Guide is very detailed, describes all of the scopes, how all of this works, provides some examples, and also has links to our Swagger page where you can test some of these different API calls. So again, the very common one would be the data export. It's really easy to test it out once you're in Swagger if you know a thing or two about running API calls. And for those of you who don't want to start from a blank slate, we also have our Viedoc GitHub page. And within the Viedoc GitHub page, we have a few example API scripts which will allow you to import data, export data, and automate some of your processes. And of course, if you're not comfortable with this, you can reach out to Viedoc and we can scope out a project where we help you out along the way. So that's just a very brief overview of the Viedoc API.